Welcome back. In today's class, I shall be discussing about the second procedure of creating a thread. Similar to the previous technique wherein we were trying to define the class with some name and we used to extend the thread class. However, in this procedure, we will be writing implements runnable. That means we shall be creating the thread by implementing the runnable interface. Okay, and in either case, that is in the previous case or in this case, we are supposed to override the method public void run, and here within this public void run we would be writing the entire thread code. Okay, so we have to remember one particular point here. We all know that a derived class object can access all base class methods along with the methods that are present in the derived class, right? That is, a son is always has always the right of accessing his parents' properties. Okay, so we were just recall that in the previous case we were invoking the start method. Start method is a part of the thread class, and through the extended class, through the derived class, say x, y, or z, okay, we were through the object of these derived classes we were accessing the start method. That was not a problem. Even here I am required to invoke the start method because we all know that in the previous video we saw that we are required to start method in order for us to take the thread from the newborn state to the runnable state. So it is our responsibility to take the thread to the runnable state. So what is the procedure to take the thread to the runnable state? The procedure is to invoke the start method. So in that case, because those threads were the derived classes of the thread class, through those objects we were trying to invoke the start method and we were not having any problems. However, the thread now that is created is not a derived class of the thread class. Instead, here a thread is implementing the runnable interface, but we are compulsorily supposed to invoke the start method. So start method is a part of the thread class. So how shall I be able to invoke the start method of the thread class? So what I need to do is to create an object directly for the thread class, and to the constructor of this thread class I am supposed to pass an object of this particular class that is created. Now I'll explain the concept through an example. See, now here class A is implementing the runnable interface. Okay, here I have written the run method. The code that is written within the run method is almost the same. So here there is a for loop that iterates between the values 50 and 65. Okay, and there is another thread called as B that is also implementing the runnable interface. Here there is a run method again which also contains a for loop. So this loop iterates between the values 80 and 95. Okay, so apart from these two threads I also have another thread that is to accommodate the main method. I have another thread called as pgm34. Here you observe I am creating an object for A, and after having created an object like this, in the previous case directly using A1 we could have invoked the start method because the class was a derived class of the thread class. However, A is now not, the class A that is found here is not a derived class of the thread class, but I am supposed to create an object for I am supposed to invoke the start method at any cost. So I cannot directly invoke start method using this object that is A1. So what is the way out here? So first I am required to create an object for the thread class. Okay, after having created an object for the thread class, you observe, okay, this constructor is taking the object okay, that we have just created for the class that is implementing the runnable interface. Okay, so remember, first we are required to create an object for the class that is implementing the runnable interface, step number 1. Step number 2, create an object for the thread class. Okay, remember, this constructor must accept the object that is created for the class that is implementing the runnable interface. Then through the thread class object, that is T1, okay, in this case I am trying to invoke the start method. So once after having done this, the thread will be taken to the runnable state. Instead of writing 3 statements, okay, step number 1, creation of object for the class. Step number 2, creation of an object for the thread class. Step number 3, through the object of the thread class, invoke the method start. Instead of these 3 statements, I can write one single statement here. Now for B also I am supposed to follow the same procedure. So instead of following these 3 statements, what I am trying to do is I am trying to write only the RHS part. So I am trying to create, okay, an object for the thread class. So this class constructor must accept an object of the class that is implementing the runnable interface. So through this, okay, inside this constructor I am writing the RHS part of creation of object for class B. So an object is created for class B, but there is no name for this particular object. So that is passed as a parameter to the constructor of the thread class. Now through this object, I am invoking the start method. So instead of 3 statements, I have just written one single statement. Let me show you the output, okay, how it behaves with this particular example. I shall be executing this program and show you how this program behaves. Okay, I'll be opening the text editor. So as I told, gedit is the default text editor in case of Ubuntu. I am just pasting this code. So the name of the class that contains the main method is pgm34. So I shall save this with I shall be saving this on my desktop. So I'll give this name, the class name that contains the main method, and I give Java as the extension. So I am storing this on my desktop. Okay, I have saved this. So as I have told you, I am supposed to now compile this program. How do I compile the program? I would be using the terminal. Okay, so I used my terminal. Now I am on my terminal. I will be using the cd command, change directory command, and I would be reaching to my desktop. So now I am in my desktop. Here I am supposed to compile my program. To compile my program, I need to use the command javac, and the name of the file which I want to compile, the name of the file is pgm34.java. So I now strike the enter key. The program got compiled successfully. I am not getting any error messages here. Now I am required to run this program through the Java command. I am supposed to give the name of the file. Now observe no.java command while executing the program. So Java pgm34 is what I have typed now. So I shall now hit the enter key again. So you can now observe we are getting the output in this manner. So here you can observe it has executed thread A thrice. Okay, it has iterated the loop thrice, 50, 51 and 52. Okay, then it has taken up the execution of thread B. Then again it has gone back to thread A. Okay, then it has chosen thread B. Okay, alternatively it is executing thread A and B. You can see series of letters A, B here, and and finally you are getting the value 65, which is the last value of thread A.